Hey everybody, I'm Rish. I'm here today to talk about Neynar. Neynar is a developer platform for Web3 social protocols. We actually started with building a Web3 social consumer app, but in the process, we realized that we had to build infrastructure first. We had to stand up hubs and nodes and build custom APIs, index protocol data. On top of that, our infrastructure would go down when the protocols would upgrade and require dedicated maintenance. All of this cost us valuable time and money. As part of this process, we, as an experiment, stood up a simple web page with a payment link that externalized our infrastructure for others to use. And within hours, we started getting paid subscribers. Over the last 2 months, we have now launched a variety of infrastructure services focused on these protocols that make access to them instant and 90% cheaper. And we've essentially turned these protocols into platforms. We are steadily gaining active paid users with over 13,000 in ARR over the last 8 weeks, 100% organic and zero marketing. We think social is the future of consumer crypto adoption. And similar to how products adopted ENS for identity, they are now going to adopt the next layer of identity, which is your social graph. This is already happening in Web 2 and has happened for years. Like Google Maps has comments and Spotify has friends playlists, and we think the same thing will happen in Web 3. Using our infrastructure, people have already built a diverse range of consumer social experiences. We have full-on social clients, to crypto games, to Web3 chat apps that use Neynar infrastructure to read and write protocol data within the chat thread, all the way to block explorers that use our social data to suggest other addresses you should check out. What we are doing next is we are building an intelligent context layer for Web3 social. This is essentially Facebook level tooling in a box. On the left side of the slide, you'll see a Facebook post where Facebook actually shows which one of your friends likes this brand, and they can do this on the fly. But this is all centralized to their platform. We can do this across Web3 products using the protocol social data. And the next time you visit an OpenSea NFT collection page or a swap page, we can actually show you what your friends and networks are saying and doing on those protocols. Like imagine being on a Shopify page and seeing the live stream of which one of your friends are actually buying or swapping on that site. Our team has been building in crypto and social since 2018. Manan and I built the Coinbase wallet, Coinbase MPC wallet, the Base L2, and the Coinbase NFT products. We have scaled products from 0 to 80 million ARR, and including XMTP messaging within Coinbase Wallet. We have prior experience from Facebook Messenger and Uber. We are looking to talk to consumer crypto founders. If you'd like to help, you can reach out to me over my email. Thank you.
Thanks, Rish. Let's get started with some Q&A. My first question is, why do you think Web3 social is a good wedge to start off with? And do you imagine competing with like the Alchemies of the world in the future?
Yeah, the first part of this question, we think this is a good wedge because frankly, nobody's solving this problem today. And this is a big problem. We happened to chance upon it because we were building a consumer app that used these protocols. And then once we realized this and started this experiment, turns out everybody has this problem who even tangentially wants to use social graph data. And just over the weeks, we have had many active users sign up, and we didn't even know them. They discover us while looking for something else. And we are solving their problems live. In terms of competition with like Alchemy or some other of these platforms, I think there's a prioritization problem these companies have, like every other big company. And I've been close to this myself at like Coinbase or Facebook. Like the reason Coinbase doesn't do this today is because they have 100 other things to do. And same for Alchemy. And they are focused on serving big clients. Like Alchemy serves Coinbase. We used to run Alchemy nodes and still do for Ethereum and EVM chains. And that's their main business. This is a totally different thing that we are focused on now. And it'll be quite some time before other players try to enter this market.
Right. What types of projects or developers are using the product right now?
Yeah. So right now, we actually have a variety of projects using us. So NFT dApps like Gallery, they use our infrastructure to show social data on gallery pages. Once Upon, which is a block explorer, uses us to suggest other wallets you should check out based on what your social graph is. We have Web3 games like FarQuest that use our protocol data to read and write to the protocol itself. And we have this app called Feeds, for example, which is essentially TweetDeck, but for Web3 social. And you can create multiple feeds and see all of this at once. And it's a great tool for like social marketing managers. That's just 4 of like the 40 plus people we have. And it ranges from VC-backed companies all the way to like indie developers who are starting something over the weekend.
And from these 40 plus teams, what features are highest in demand from the ones that you've been talking to?
We started with read data and node endpoints first. What this means is like similar to if you go to Alchemy, they give you a gRPC endpoint for an Ethereum node. And we can do the same for social protocol nodes. And that's where we started, and that's all we had. Since then, we have added read APIs. This is where things like the TweetDeck, the Feeds product I mentioned come in. And over the last 2 weeks, we've actually added write endpoints. And the write endpoints unlock something new, which both gives us some moat, as well as there's a huge demand for that, where if you want to write to these social protocols today, and you're not already a wallet, you have to manage keys and signers and signatures. And this is a whole lot of headroom you have to now wrangle into your other product. And we take all of that away. You don't have to worry about any of this. You just tell us what user and what you want to write, and we just write it. And we do all the key management and signing, and that's been in huge demand. Friends, which is this black screenshot on the screen, uses us to both read and write to the protocol. And that's something we think will work for us more, because once you are using our key management, you're really locked into what we are building.
Right. Can you go deeper into the key management piece? What does that entail? What have you built out?
Yeah. So we have built out a full SDK that you can use to now generate. So we generate a private public key pair that you can now use to write to the protocol. It's securely stored on our backend servers on secure storage enclaves. And whenever a user wants to write to the protocol, we take the public key and generate a signature. And that signature is used to verify the message is real from the same user, and it goes out to the protocol. All of this today, without us, you'd have to do yourselves. And people have been doing this over the last however many months or years that these protocols have been around. But now you don't need to. You just come in, call our endpoint. If this is a new user, we do all of this on the fly, and we store the data on our backend. If this is an existing user, we just check if they already have a signer, and then we create a signature on the fly and submit this new data on the protocol. So if you're building an app today on Web3 Social, you can just focus on your app. And you don't need to worry about what are signers, what are signatures, what are keys, how do you interact with the protocol. All of that is taken away, and you can just focus on the user and the data you want to read and write.
Right. Well, we have time for one more question before I get to it, one of your customers, Cameron, wanted to say that as a Neynar customer, he loves your service, which I thought was really nice. But for the last question, can you tell us a bit more about the motivation of people building on top of existing social graphs like Farcaster?
Yeah. The motivation really comes from trying to make your product a multiplayer experience and add a layer of personalization. And this honestly has nothing to do with Web 2 and Web 3. This is just human psychology. Like every product we use, once the product has established its key product market value, the next thing they want to do is allow you to go deeper and do the same thing with more people. That's why you create shared playlists. You create like community map lists on Google Maps. You create shared notes, and no matter like the list is long. And the same thing is going to happen in Web3. And similar to how users own their identity with ENS, instead of having one identity per app, they're going to own their graph and not have a graph per app. And what we do is we make this super easy, where you can have your graph, your data, reading and writing. So if you want to write comments or do something else, and that is now on a per wallet, per user basis, and the app developers don't have to worry about it. So I think the motivation hasn't dramatically changed as crypto has come forward. It's the same as like building customer facing products.
Great answers. Thanks so much, Rishabh.